John Watts on the track. Zeus, Don One, Rude Boy, Quill, The Gift, and yours truly, Fred Knoxxx. I'm 1 in a million with $1 million flow. Fred DiBiase got the power in it though. If it's a problem, let me know, or I suggest you let it go. Cause it ain't worth the problems that'll be knocking at your door, homie. Please don't make me hurt you. Disrespect the boss, ain't treated like Virgil. Cause when I write raps, it's beyond your price tag. He's a waste of man.
And welcome back, everybody, to Around the Bloxxx Wrestling Show. I am one of your hosts, the best in the world, baby. Your tribal chief, Hangman Knoxxx. That's right. Yes. And we are here. I am joined also by my co-host, Oos. Tell them who you are.
Listen, you have a tagline right there that says you're the best in the world, right?
I do.
Last night, I proved that I'm better than you.
Oh, God.
Last night, I proved I am better than you. So you might be the second best in the world.
Let them know what you're talking about.
I am now your tribal emperor. I'm the tribal sorcerer. The mighty Dycezman.
There's
the
no one better than the
almighty
sorcerer of grace.
AKA Mr. Dycezman Holler. AKA Mr. Big Kith in the chat. AKA Yo mama's favorite daddy. Hey, you know what? Before we get started, I listened to a lot of Sirius XM radio, and so I was listening to Kevin Hart, Plastic Cup Boys, right?
Okay.
So every it's about 7 of them. I think it's like 7 of them. I don't know, but they always do an AKA for everybody.
Yeah.
I was like, did I just bite them without even knowing?
Nah, I've been doing that for years, and then Spotface was doing it. It's in the culture, I think, right? But it's about how the AKAs matter. Remember, Mike Knoxxx. You don't believe me? I spell my name with 3 X's. Ask that whore that you dated. You know what I mean? AKA Mr. Blog Talk Radio. AKA Mr. Unpopular Review. AKA your mama's favorite uncle, whatever. But listen, guys, we are here. We are going to do a lot today. It's a smorgasbord of things to talk about today. We had NXT War Games last night. Johnny Gargano was gone. We have brought back to you the Plexi Awards, people. Now, we've been here. Now, I've been here 13 years. Ending this year makes 14. For year 1 here on Unpopular Review, and I want to just tell everybody out there, honestly, from King Vaughn Jr. 720, my icons, to the Ayatollahs and rock and rollers, to the stars on Twitter and social media, to the Belt Kings, to the Wolf Pack, to Grand Body P over in the UK holding it down, and everybody on Unpopular Review. We have done it another year. We have merged together to form the $1 Million Audience, and we're here. And this will probably be our last show of the year. Not sure right now. I planned it to be the last show, but I told that to Dice about how every time around this year I cut back. There's Christmas time, things like that. They was like, what? Last show? So I don't know. Unless something great happens in wrestling, you won't see my ugly mug any longer until next year. But we did plan to bring you a great show today, off the heels of a wonderful, not the greatest, but a pretty good NXT War Games last night. Dice, your thoughts on War Games? I know you're not the biggest NXT guy, at least not NXT 2.0 guy. That's not your thing.
Honestly, it was okay.
Okay.
It was okay. I mean, I was more excited to watch Ruthless Aggression after than anything. So, it's just it was okay. Like, it wasn't anything to make me go, oh, that was amazing. But they were very solid matches. It was very good storytelling. But I mean, what do you want from characters that you barely have emotional investment in? Like, your love of pro wrestling can only take you so far. And it has nothing to do with the brand NXT, because I just like pro wrestling, period. So my love for pro wrestling, I watch some indie shit, you know what I'm saying? But I'll watch Impact, as bad as it is, just because I love pro wrestling. But honestly, I didn't think there was any better than NWA's event over the weekend, in which shout out to the Pope, because he took a pretty nasty spill but he only ended up with a concussion, and he's okay. So that's. I actually thought that show was a little bit better.
Well, for what it's worth, guys, we know Dice is not the biggest NXT guy. Damn sure not the biggest NXT 2.0 guy. But I'm with you, Dennis. And again, happy belated birthday to you as well, my man. Imperium versus O'Reilly and Wagner was pretty good. It threw a swerve for me watching that, as I thought O'Reilly last time in NXT was last night as well. But the way Wagner missed the failed turn attempt maybe threw me for a little bit. Rick Grimes, you know, I'm a big fan of Rick Grimes. To the moon beats Hudson. Gracie wins.
Something about him is just
I love him.
It's like, I don't know, it's something about him. It's like super extra, but it's not getting over being extra. You like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm an extra ass motherfucker. Like, I'm extra as shit. But there's a reason behind my extraness, because I need to put emphasis on the shit that I am saying. You need to understand what I am saying. So the extraness is for emphasis. But I feel like his extraness, it doesn't do anything for me as far as a character. I just feel like he's just being stupid or goofy. I don't know how to put it, man. I don't know. It's like
I would say give it more of a watch than an early. I know you don't dive into NXT like that.
I liked him with the whole with him and LA Knight. I like that feud a lot. It's what really put me on to actually paying attention.
But he was big before LA Knight came on the scene, though. Like,
yeah, I knew that.
Growth, and you know, when I be real with you, you know, I attended a few NXT events this year. It was something that grew on me. I was not the biggest fan as well at first, and then seeing it in person, you know how that goes when you're somewhere live. But they say I always go to that 42 thing, you know, when everybody's doing one thing, somebody will catch on doing it. And that's what happened to me for Rick Grimes, to be honest. Like, I didn't really pay attention to him. I was there live. I saw how the crowd was reacting to him. And that was one of the few things that I actually bit from the crowd was that when it came to Rick Grimes. But let's talk about the two biggest matches. And I got to say this, Raquel Gonzalez, Ira Shirai, Cora Jade, and KJ Ray beat Toxic and Dakota Kai. What a match. What a match, giving these girls their flowers. Now, here's the thing when it comes to working, like you said, the emotional investment in them. It's not there. It's not NXT War Games when you had the Viking Raiders, you know, taking on the Undisputed Era. And what hell was Undisputed Era versus anybody? Like it used to be back in the day, was the Horsemen versus anybody. That's what it was. Shout out to DC checking in as well. But just overall, the event itself, I watched it. My two sons, which shocks me every time, they're not the biggest NXT guys, at least not of the latest NXT. They were NXT guys 3, 2, 4, 5 years ago. That's when they thought NXT was just as good as anything on the main roster. But my daughter, I think she loves it because we go a lot in person. So I think she loves it from that standpoint. But overall, I'm gonna give a nice. I thought the night was pretty good for what it was. I was shocked that NXT 2.0 won. Maybe I shouldn't have been, knowing that we know Vince took over. But I thought, hey, Vince, throw it solid. These guys are leaving allegedly. I mean, we do know Johnny Gargano's contract is up. And I'm going to say this. Next to Rey Mysterio, Gargano is the best guy to ever have ring entrances as far as gear. And I mean that even over some of your greats you can name. Gargano, every single big NXT takeover had an amazing, amazing outfit on. To see him leave, Johnny Wrestling is his name for reason. Losing Johnny Wrestling, losing the Undisputed Era, if it stands as it is right now, is a huge blow to NXT. And not just NXT, but anybody who's a fan of them coming up to the next level. They've already lost Adam Cole. They've already lost Adam Cole. Johnny Gargano is that guy, okay, along with Tommaso Ciampa. Okay, those were the three big backbones after the Finn, the Kevin Owens era, if you will, so to speak. NXT had a point where every time somebody left, somebody stepped up into the place and fitted it very well. And now I'm afraid they don't have those guys. Braun Breaker, again, we talk about guys like Dolph Ziggler and Rick Boogs and things like that. As great as he is in the ring, I got to use the words of KME. That name's going to hold him down. Braun Breaker is not a name. It's just not a name to me that's going to get over in professional wrestling. But other than that, I will give that night NXT, I will give it 3.5 out of 5 NXT titles. It was pretty good. I see where they're trying to go, but I've seen a lot better from War Games. I just have. And I got to say this. I think the female War Game was probably a little bit better. Maybe because it's some things they did I hadn't seen before, but overall, I thought it was a really good pay-per-view. Just, it's 2.0. It's trying to get your feet back wet to the company. Your overall thoughts on NXT final grade?
Match, I'm going to go ahead. 3.5 is what I had in my head as well. I'm going to agree that ladies match was better, and it was better because there was more
bigger bumps, to be honest. The bumps was crazy.
Not just the bumps, but the storyline.
Yeah, the storyline.
Like, there's not enough. There wasn't enough behind 2.0 versus the originals. It wasn't enough behind it.
It was almost as fast as putting SmackDown versus Raw.
you had enough because those ladies all legitimately had a beef against one another, and Toxic Attraction they've been pretty much the highlight. Honestly,
have you seen them? You've seen it. You've looked at them.
I mean, looks aside, and Mandy Rose needs to be given her roses for her stint here. She need to be given her roses for her stint this time at NXT, because she's definitely showing her character growth. She's showing her ability to adapt and change and do it effectively, and it's paying off. I think that now it's really paying off. But however, them not having that group being as dominant as they are right now, it wouldn't have made that match. You know what I'm saying? Like, if they just came together on some fucking Voltron type shit just because they had a common, you know what I'm saying? Like, just because, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's nothing that attaches me emotionally to that match. But them other four ladies having a legitimate beef against them, it brought more to the table, as opposed to just some kind of civil war between a previous brand and a current brand. It just wasn't enough behind it. So
I'll give you that. And you know what? I think that is a big problem with what happened in this whole thing. Just NXT 2.0, it's seeming a little bit rushed. It felt a little bit rushed, but hey, it's what they gave us. Again, I want to just thank everybody again, if I haven't, from who's been here. I'm going on 14 years, Dice, doing this. And I'm looking at numbers today as I went back, and I haven't done a Plexi award in about 4 years. Okay. In about 4 years since I've done a Plexi award. For those who don't know, I came up with the Doozy Awards about 10 years ago. I got tired, just like I came up with my own top 25 female list. I got tired of having all these publications that have their set agendas, and I made my own agenda. Everybody had every show, including Unpopular Review, who I'm a part of, will have a best of show. I want to switch it. I have a worst of show, because everything in entertainment and wrestling isn't great, and I think they should be noted that they were not being great. So what are the Doozy Awards? It equals the worst in entertainment. I used to have great awards like the Big Dummy of the Year. I used to call it the TI Award, because remember, he went to jail twice in 1 year? Twice in like 1 day. He got out of jail, went back to jail. You know what I mean? Mystical got out for rape, went back to jail for rape. You know what I'm saying? But yet you're still going, I walk around with my dick in my pants. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you going to do? But so today we have a special award, as we like to say this time of the show. Hey, Dave Meltzer. Fuck you, Dave.
Fuck you, Dave.
The Dave
Fuck you, Dave.
Dirt Sheet Award.
Fuck you,
Plexi.
Dave.
So the
I got a serenation real quick. Hold on. Fuck you, Dave. We don't like your stupid ass rumors. So this is a big old fuck you from me to you. Yeah.
And listen, we got the categories. You got the Plexi for the worst show. I want you guys to get in here and get on this and vote while you're here live for the worst show in wrestling right now. Impact, Raw, NXT 2.0, and Rampage as the worst shows so far of the year. Worst pay-per-view Plexi, Extreme Rules, Backlash, Royal Rumble. You ready for this, guys? Double or Nothing. All right. Worst storyline Plexi of the year. Jinder Mahal versus Drew McIntyre. Braun Strowman versus Shane McMahon. And overall, Team Taz. Then we have worst tag team of the year. We like to call this one the Ding Dong Plexi. Remember the Ding Dongs? What a stupid group, right? The Ding Dong Plexi. The categories are the nominees are the Viking Raiders, Best Friends, Chuck Taylor and Trent, and the Dark Order, as well as Humberto and Garza. And those who don't know me, I'm a huge Garza fan, and I still had to put him on this list because it's a tag team, they ass. All right. Then we've got worst feud of the year, the Dark Order versus Daniel Bryan. You don't like it? So what? Comment below. Let us know. Then we got Damian Priest versus The Miz. Braun Strowman again versus Shane. Uh-oh. Can we have a 2-time Plexi Award winner in one show? Then we got worst female hit row award. We call this one the Cat Plexi. Y'all remember Cat? What could Cat do? She did have the bubble wrap. That's the greatest claim to fame for Cat. So we call this the Cat Plexi. We got Big Swole. We got Jay Cardell. We got Bunny. And we got Carmella, who I still think is money, but sucks in the ring. All right. Then we got the worst male of the year. Brian Cage, Lance Archer, Rick Books, Wardlow, and Dabba-Kato. And those are the categories.
That's a tough one right there. That's a tough one.
And we will get to those in a second. I see everybody commenting and chiming in. I appreciate it. Comment below. Let us know what's going on. Charmaine, always and forever a fan. I appreciate your girlfriend. My man Derek Mitchell checking in. The women's match had synergy. The men's match was just random guys put together. It reminded me of the New Blood versus the Millionaires Club back in. Yeah, it was that bad. It was like you could see the potential for both teams. It just was horribly put together. What's going on, Mad Dog? Welcome back to the program. Beth Phoenix is leaving. It is sad that she is gone. Oh, what did he hate on already? The Z is silent. Stop hating. That's my girl, Charmaine. He beat me yesterday in the Madden tournament, and so that's why he's saying that. But at the end of the day, as he grabs big kips in the chat, I'm still the champ. The champ. Ain't that right, baby? Come here. Kiss daddy. It's one of my many, I'm lying, one of two Slam War. But let's go ahead and get on with it, Dice. Your thoughts real fast. So we go ahead and give out one of the first awards of the night. AEW Dynamite last week. And I got to say, it was a fucking awesome show. Dynamite was incredible. I love the main event in Atlanta. A lot of big controversy on was he booed? Was he not booed? I had about a dozen people that were there. Okay, so I know how I come on TV. I told you I had to ask y'all, do y'all hear boos? Because I heard cheers. I didn't hear the boos. All right. And I asked a couple people, shout out to Wale, Micah, Vaughn. I think Vaughn was in that conversation as well on our Facebook group for the Soul and Sports. And they said they heard mix. But I asked people that were there. Out of the 12 that I knew, only about 10 responded, right? 7 said it was cheers. 3 said it was a mix with booze. You guys tell me. I thought Dynamite was dynamite. All right. I'm not just saying that. I loved everything about Dynamite from this past week, Dice. You had CM Punk take on Lee, which I listen, CM Punk.
Lee Moriarty.
Yeah, I can't pronounce people's names. That's what you're here for. Okay. Adam Cole, baby, joined the broadcast in booth as they beat up Mr. Orange Cassidy, which I loved how they came out and beat his ass. I think it was in a party with somebody. Somebody said, this is corny. And I'm like, if you can like Orange Cassidy putting his hands in his pants, in his pockets and going on slow, how can you can't imagine? I'm not the biggest Young Buck fan like I was 5 years ago, right? But I thought that segment came off pretty fucking good. The Pinnacle, Wardlow, with Shane Spears took on AC Adams. The Gun Club, I mean, damn, how great can you be to have both your sons in wrestling? I don't even care. Versus Sting and Darby Allin. Darby Allin's going to hurt himself before next year, permanently. I hope not. But damn, the way that man throws his little ass body, can we just get one? First of all, prayers to Jeff Hardy. We don't know what's going on. I've heard too many mixed things.
Yeah, it's.
That's why I say death to dirt sheets, because I've heard from alcohol. I heard from personal reasons. I've heard somebody say he had bubble guts. You know what I'm saying?
You know what? And when I seen the reports, it sucks because he had a really, really good interview
on Stone Cold's podcast.
Podcast. It was so good, man. And like, he understands how blessed he's been and that he should not be in the position that he's in. And you really want to root for him. Just listening to like how much sorrow that he feels about the shit. And then they talk about, you know, the infamous Sting match in TNA, like, which is rock bottom at that point.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And he bounced.
That's why I heard somebody bring it up today, because that's what they were talking about that in that interview. Okay, because that was the match. He was drunk in that match, right?
Yeah, he was fucked up. He was fucked up. But it sucks. So I hope none of that stuff is true. Other than he probably had the guts. And,
I just want that. I want that match between him and Darby Allin. I gotta see it personally for me. Le Champion, Chris Jericho was backstage with Alex Marvez. The man of the hour, Lio Rush. Can he get in the ring? Okay, and shout out to Dr. D.
He said one match
from the Wrestling Marks of Excellence. He is the indie star when it comes to wrestling. Okay, this man watches indie wrestling. All you guys watch AEW. Facts. Okay, and he sees them before we see them because he goes to every indie match ever, and he's real cool with Lio Rush. Got Lio Rush in one of his YouTube joins. He been following Lio Rush since the beginning. That's how I got to meet Patrick, aka y'all know who he is, El Touch a Kid. But moving on, El Touch a Kid. All right, so first award for worst show. Remember, you can't hear him, but drum roll, please.
Yeah, I can't hear.
Come on, the nominees were Impact, Raw, NXT 2.0, and Rampage. And guess what? We got a co-winner of this award, guys. It's Monday Night Raw and NXT 2.0. The Plexi for the worst shows in professional wrestling goes to Monday Night Raw and NXT 2.0. And listen, say what you want to say. It's a story or a talk for a different day. Rampage wasn't too far away. It's why it was on the list. Okay? Rampage nothing more than a WWE, what do you call it back when you was a kid? Challenge, wrestling challenge, right? But Raw, just how can you go from being the standard bearer to the bottom of the barrel, Dice? Your thoughts on the first Plexi for the worst show in professional wrestling going to Raw and NXT 2.0? WWE products, may I add?
Look, they're no SmackDown. I'll tell you that. Both shows were too inconsistent.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much what sums it up. Like they're way too inconsistent. NXT 2.0 was never going to be
no, Ring of Honor wasn't in the category. Ring of Honor, I'm sorry, Derek. They just didn't have enough. I couldn't do that to them to put them in there. I just couldn't.
Kick the company while they did.
Yeah, I just couldn't. I just couldn't do that. It did. Just kick. You got one peg leg. He's like, take it from underneath of them.
There was no consistency with those two shows. You can go back weeks and months that we've been disappointed with either show. So you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, but SmackDown, whenever we say like, oh, SmackDown was trash. I don't even know the last time I said SmackDown was trash or I didn't like SmackDown. Or half the time before the show starts, it's like, oh, do we really want to talk about Raw? Like, what happened?
We have a hard time. That's why we never really, if you notice, we never review Raw. Yeah. We never review Raw, right? We preview Raw. We preview Raw. But for the most part, we just go back and because by weeks later when we do the show, before Raw comes on, we forget what the fuck happened. Okay. Other than Charlotte Flair being the greatest female wrestler of all the times, there's nothing about Raw that we need to watch. So there's that.
The disrespect to the Almighty.
He said, "No, fam." Well, listen, when you get your own show, you can have who you think's the greatest. Okay, boats and hoes.
Speaking of greatest, today marks 17 years.
Yes,
of the women's main event on Raw. Trish Stratus versus Lita.
I saw that.
And which would go down. Where do we rank this? Is that an instant classic looking back? Was that an instant classic?
Yeah, absolutely. You can't take that from them. And what those girls
anytime Lita does a dive through and she
almost kills herself. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. And here's my problem. And everybody, this is almost a consistency of what Brandon Justice Delancey had to say. That is Trish Stratus. Here's my problem with it being Trish Stratus. All right, let's take my fandom away And let's be real to professional wrestling. It belongs to China. I don't put China in that category because she didn't even wrestle women. So she can't be the greatest women's wrestler of all time when her wrestling versus women's career was that long. So I don't think it's fair. She's the ninth wonder of the world, right? So I don't put her there. So then when it comes to professional wrestling, this is what I think wrestling people forget about. That's why don't tell me about an indie show. Don't tell me about how great Ring of Honor or any other promotion is, because if it doesn't have storyline behind it, then there's no wrestling, right? But wrestling still matters. Trish wasn't that good of a wrestler at all. She grew just like Nikki Bella grew. And I compare Nikki Bella to Trish Stratus. They have parallel histories in how they got to claim the fame. Not taking nothing from Trish, can never take nothing from Trish, will never take nothing from Trish. But Trish ain't better than Bayley. Trish ain't better than Sasha Banks. Trish ain't better than Asuka, who we haven't seen in a while. And she damn sure not better than fucking Charlotte Flair. So, but worst show goes to Monday Night Raw. You know what? It probably would be because all SmackDown is Roman. So maybe. I don't know. The problem with China, she's going so big, is it hard for her to compete against women? Yeah, there's just nothing she could do. It's like when you watch Nia Jax taking on, Alexa Bliss. Alexa Bliss is not supposed to win that match. You know what I'm saying? Like, Deirdre was not supposed to lose to Selena Vega, roll up or not. Her little ass can't hold her one leg, let alone both. Okay, so stuff like that. Suspending the disbelief from wrestling, we have to. That's professional wrestling. But at the same time, got to keep it in perspective. Moving on, Dice. I'm going to go to the worst feud doozy of the year. Okay.
What's the nominees again?
And the nominees are The Dark Order versus Daniel Bryan, Damian Priest versus The Miz, Braun Strowman versus Shane McMahon. Drum roll, please. The winner has to be Braun Strowman versus Shane McMahon. Dice, speak on this horrible feud.
Hold up. Time out. You mean to tell me it didn't have to do anything with that stupid ass fucking sword? That stupid ass fucking sword?
Well, hold on. That's a feud, not a storyline. Hold that thought.
Okay.
All right.
So what we doing? This is a feud?
So this is a feud. We get it. You hate the stupid fucking sword, all right? Jesus Christ. He doesn't like baloney.
They deserve this. It just him picking on Braun Strowman just for the simple fact that you need Shane McMahon to work a match and you didn't have shit for Braun to do and you were paying him too much money, so you decided, hey, let's throw Shane in there.
The blasphemous right there by Derek. MJF and Jericho had one of the better feuds of the year, in my opinion. It spawned the Inner Circle. It also spawned the Pinnacle.
You need a James Franco meme right now.
That is one of my favorite memes I stole from you.
James Franco.
So, but yeah, this match was so bad on so many levels. This feud, this rivalry, it just didn't make any sense. It was used for Shane to take another big bump that Shane takes all the time. Charlotte is not the greatest according to Andrade. Stop that, King Von Jr. 720 backstage.
Oh, cheap blows. Cheap blows.
And yeah, Trish and Lita are real goats, but as I like to hear somebody else said to me, and I give him credit. Everybody's saying it now, but it's a little young boy named Evan about 6 years ago said that to me because he's a Kobe fan. And he said, I don't, to me, there's not just one GOAT. There's GOATs of generations, right? Michael was his GOAT. Like before Michael, it was, Bird and Magic. And before that, it was, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and stuff like that. And like now it's LeBron. Now it's also KD and help me out, Steph Curry. You know what I mean? So, yeah, they're GOATs. They're Mount Rushmores. But I could pick them both apart really easy compared to these. To me, those girls back then, even Lita, and I must say this, cannot lace the 4 horsewomen shoes. They just can't. And I know that's evolution, and you're supposed to get better. But women back in the day, even a lingerie, help me out, a lingerie blaze,
lingerie,
Medusa. Let's gonna go there.
Oh, I thought you were trying to say lingerie. I was about to say, how the fuck you fuck that up?
Like even Medusa, even Fel Yim in their primes aren't these girls today. What Bailey, Sasha, and Charlotte can do, these women couldn't do back then 20 years ago. They just couldn't. They just couldn't. These are facts. They were
that's
not
like
doing
saying that's like saying running backs couldn't fucking shift like Barry Sanders back then. They couldn't.
But some today can, but not. Still, people can't shift like Barry Sanders. What the fuck? There's like
time evolves. The thing that I hate about debates like this, right, is we'll take somebody 15, 20 years ago and say this is the GOAT
in a league of their own, yeah,
and which is fine, right? But at what point can they be surpassed? Like people will still continue to put Pac and Biggie as the GOATs.
Don't fucking pull my card like that, dog.
They will continue. They will put Pac and Biggie as the GOATs, right?
They are.
How long does it take before somebody of that stature can be surpassed like a Jay-Z who's been doing it consistently? I'm not saying who is or who isn't, but how come he can't be in that conversation?
I think he is in that conversation. I think in the words
he should be a lot more than
Chris Rock says he's by himself because he's done so much for hip hop that he's above that list. You know what I'm saying? And I won't say I necessarily agree or disagree with that, but I'm rocking with it. If that makes any sense.
So
you know what I'm saying?
and that's my point about you know when we talk about the Trish Stratus to Charlotte thing.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm not trying to put those girls down at all.
But also the thing
they're generational.
When we talk about these people that may have been the trailblazers, they are able to be surpassed. Just because they open the door doesn't mean that nobody can walk through it.
Oh no, because Curtis Blow got surpassed.
If you wanted to, if somebody wants to tell me that Trish is the greatest, you need to give me 5 great Trish Stratus feuds or 5 great Trish Stratus matches.
You can't without naming 2 people because you're gonna put in Mickey James and you're gonna put in Lita. Okay, but I can give you 5 other ones in that ilk.
Boy, you disrespect the NWO like that?
Hold on, what did he say? Even when it comes to factions, the NWO and the 4 horsemen have been surpassed. I don't disagree. I've said that. I told you I thought that this fucking Shield was. Listen, he walks away from the thing. I'm not saying they're loved more, okay? Because they're not. They're not. If there was no horsemen, there would be none of these other factions that have existed and had the longevity these guys have had. And I'm still taking nothing from the 4 horsemen. They're definitely the Mount Rushmore, okay? But first, to me, the NWO is not a faction. They were a whole goddamn company, all right? Other than the original 3, okay? So besides them, everybody else, I think the Shield is that good. I think the New Day has surpassed them by. Okay, got to get the New Day.
Every time we talk about factions, you just refuse to respect evolution.
I didn't get that far. I didn't get that far.
First of all, you shouldn't even name the New Day before you named what?
Why? The New Day is one of the greatest faction of all time.
They're the greatest trio. No,
that's a faction. That's a faction.
Are they better than DX?
Yes. The New Day on paper. Listen, we're not talking about what's in your heart. Remember, this is how I talk about wrestling fans. This is a show for the intelligent wrestling fans. You gotta take your fandom out of it. It's not about who you like the most. It's about who's actually better. The New Day statistically have surpassed everybody but the Horsemen. Statistically. And that's pretty nasty. I hope you really put that in your ear.
I gotta disinfect my goddamn ear of this bullshit that you out here speaking. The blasphemy. I can't believe what I'm seeing on the screen. Wipe the shit. All right. I can't believe none of this. Tripping. I'll go get y'all some Lysol wipes.
I got it. Listen, before you run out of the game. Charmaine, the New Day is better than DX.
Of course, she's going to agree with you.
Tweets. The New Day is hold on. The New Day is better than DX. Because we're not talking about what you love and what you relate to. We're talking about what they do, what they've done, right? All those groups from the Attitude Era have almost been surpassed. Literally. Like, literally, they're surpassed. Fuck, want to keep it a bean? Want to keep it a bean? Day ones. We the ones. The Bloodline. I'm putting the Bloodline over DX right now. When the last time you seen the Usos lose them titles? Roman ain't lost in over a year.
All right. All right.
Just saying.
Oh, my God. You know what? Just go to the next subject because I cannot even.
10 times better? I don't know about that one there, Brandon. 10 times better than the New Day? Again, I think it's fandom. You got to take your fandom out of it. All right. Moving on. What award was that? That was worst feud. All right. I'm with you there. Listen, it ain't about what I love the most. I'm not saying I love the New Day more than I love DX. I can't. And listen, it's so bad. It's so bad. I go back real fast. My wife, she's been watching the Real World Challenges all over again. It was an incident that happened with Blackface, right? And it made me think, I'm sitting there watching it like,
Billy Gunn.
I'm so super black right now, pro-black, that back then I wasn't. Because I always tell people wrestling's everything. It's racist, it's sexist, it's classless, it's everything. So when I first saw DX do that, or the nation, I'm like, I didn't think of blackface. I thought, this shit is funny. You know what I'm saying? But I look back now and I go,
oh, it was racist as shit.
Oh, how could I not have been offended?
That's very cringy. It's very cringy.
Very cringy. That's the matter of fact that I heard it's not even on Peacock, right? The cock took it off. So it's not even on. I'm gonna say my name, and if I can say my name, Mike, I have a question. Where do you have the Nation of Domination and the Disciples of Apocalypse in the Disciple of Apocalypse? Now, listen, I do put the Nation in the top 25, if not maybe top 50. I gotta think about that one, Anthony. That's a little loaded. That's a little loaded question for live.
You know what? You know why I put them? You know why I put them?
The Nation of Domination
in the trash.
You put the Nation of Domination in the trash.
In the trash. How dominant were they?
Again, listen.
That name was a fraud.
I won't argue it because
But you know what?
On paper, they didn't do much.
Yeah,
they didn't do much.
Paper.
Yeah, there it is. Let's move on, Dyce. Real
quick. I need to.
Go ahead, get your soliloquy.
How can two groups that change the face, the culture of professional wrestling, not even just professional wrestling, but you could literally turn on the TV to something that had nothing to do with wrestling, and you would get a wrestling reference.
How can Pac and if you can say Pac and Biggie are not there no more, you can say the same thing for DX or Four Horsemen. I mean, in the NWO. Just tell me out of any of those groups change culture for professional wrestling as we know it. Again, I think
I probably think that other than that, no, none of them.
I think the Shield did. I think the Shield did because we hadn't seen nothing like the Shield since the Horsemen. I mean, even Evolution wasn't that dominant. They made the Shield just run through everybody until they got up against Evolution. Until they went up against the Wyatt family. Those are their two biggest rivals.
You're not even going to put the Wyatt family in this conversation? We have never seen anything like the Wyatt family.
You know why I would put the Wyatt family there? Because what did they win?
Because they weren't dominant? Okay.
What did they win? It's not about my love. It's about remember pro wrestling. Wins and losses don't mean shit unless you're talking this kind of conversation, right? What kind of titles they had. And again, we don't control the titles, the promoters do, right? It's worse than fucking boxing, right? I saw a fight last night that I tell you right here, right now. I thought Gervonta Davis probably lost the fight. But then you got to kick that old adage. You take a belt, you don't just beat it. You know what I mean? You don't just go toe to the champion. You gotta beat him, right? And he didn't beat him, but he gave his ass at work. But let's move on to the next Plexi, the Ding Dong Plexi, the Ding Dong Plexi. I love that name because that was a shitty ass tag team. And the nominees are the Viking Raiders. Best Friends Chuck Taylor and Trent, the Dark Order, because Garza and Umberto. Drum roll, please. You thought you could come on my show and get away without AEW getting some bullshit because you fans think that AEW is every fucking thing in the world? Best Friends is ass. The Viking Raiders is ass, but the winner goes to not even a Dark Order. It's worse than Best Friends Chuck Taylor and Trent. What the fuck? What did they win? What was the purpose of Best Friends? Because this indie love that y'all think belongs in big time wrestling. That's a horrible tag team. This ain't your mama's kitchen. This ain't Ring of Honor. You know, no offense towards, you know, them boys. Okay. Arguably one of the greatest tag team no one ever talks about, the Briscoe brothers. But this ain't that organization. This ain't that organization. Okay. First of all, I wish I could eat gummy bears again. You know, I can't, showing off. But yes, best friends, hands down, winner of this Doozy, the Ding Dong Doozy for worst tag team. Dice, your thoughts?
Nothing to talk about. They're pretty ass. and shout out to Miro for getting away from them motherfuckers when he did.
He said, how does Lucha House Party back against this nomination? You know that. Which version are you talking about here? PG-13, Wolfie D, Farouk? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
It don't matter.
That nation, even Farouk, Mark Henry, Godfather, and The Rock, they didn't win nothing. Only one title was in that whole entire thing at first, and that was The Rock's Intercontinental title. And then when they kicked out Farouk, D'Lo and them won the tag title, but that was short-lived, right? And you had the European champion. But overall, The Rock dominated that group. Then The Rock went to the corporate.
They were slightly better than Right to Censor.
Right? The Wyatt family didn't have the resume of the Shield. Best friends went at awards. Charmaine, you already be knowing. That's my girl. Viking Raiders. Hey, they were on the list. Can't go wrong here. You know what? I should have had the Young Bucks on there, to be honest with you, but I just couldn't do it. Somebody wants a gummy.
Gummies, man.
All right. Do you hear about the Rock?
And what group? I know he's talking about. I know he's not talking about Wyatt family. They had the world title.
It's not titles for me, but it's moments. DX easily had more great moments than the New Day was great moments. See, here's where I would disagree with that. Right. And I feel that I get what you're saying. A moment, that's wrestling in general. Right. It's not about, you don't remember you shouldn't anyway, unless you're those kind of people. You remember the moments from big things. Right. Kofi Kingston winning the WWE title is bigger than anything DX ever done. It is. It was big for the culture. It was big for what he deserved. You know, DX, for what it's worth,
that's not fair.
Two of the company's favorite people of all time in it.
That's not fair.
I'm just being, well, it's not about being fair. It's about being right. Right? Like DX had the company's boss's ear. Right? Did they not? You had Shawn Michaels, Triple H. Right? They were company's favorites. People say, oh, was Triple H in the doghouse? Once Triple H got out the doghouse, he was in the big house. Okay. So that's what that stands for me. But yeah, the best friends to me just is an epitome to me of some of the downfalls that I think is plaguing AEW. And I don't think AEW is on downfall. It's just they got to get rid of some of the mentality of things, and I think that's one of them. Let's move on to. This is gonna be a big one. This one's gonna cause some controversy here, I believe. Okay. Yep, I'm gonna bring it up now. So, worst pay-per-view of the year. Drum roll.
Royal Rumble?
I'll put that after I tell you who wins, but first the nominees again are Extreme Rules. Y'all remember the Extreme Rules, don't you? Finn Balor, Demon, ropes just broke. Beat.
What was wrong with that?
I'll leave that alone. Double or Nothing. You know what happened there, right? All that talk, all these great things supposed to happen. It was a 5-hour fucking extravaganza I didn't need to see. Taking nothing from AEW. Just wasn't needed. Royal Rumble. Some of the stuff on this list because people picked it, and I don't even agree with them. I'm being honest with you. I like the Royal Rumble. Matter of fact, I remember going on this show and saying how much I like the Royal Rumble, but it's still here for fans' sake. Double Love and Royal Rumble Backlash. That was pretty fucking bad. Backlash is pretty fucking bad. Dice, before we give out our winners, your thoughts. I see you looking up to give yourself a refresher. Talk to me.
We can't put AEW Revolution with the fucking fireworks not exploding.
You know what? And I apologize. No, I apologize. I know I apologize. I'm sorry. That's me. That's who that's supposed to be. I knew it wasn't Double or Nothing. It's Revolution. I'm sorry. You're right. Okay, and that was this year, right? If I recall, right? Okay.
That was.
Okay, it was early in the year. Okay.
That was like March.
Anybody got any answer they think's gonna win? SummerSlam? Charmaine, I like SummerSlam. I did. I know a lot of people didn't like SummerSlam. I liked SummerSlam, and I don't think Liv Morgan wins tonight. I don't think Liv Morgan sniffs that title other than tonight. That's why she's having a pay-per-view. That's why she's having a title match on Raw.
She'll win it. Not tonight, but she'll win it, I think, fairly soon.
I don't think she can touch that belt.
I think she does. It's time for them. It's time for them to start giving new talent.
See, Anthony, that's a little unfair. That's a little unfair about the nation and their gimmick towards the New Day, because here's where I need wrestling fans to stay on the same lane. What they say? Keep that same energy, right? Because if you can accept someone doing something because they choose to want to do it, the New Day pitched this idea themselves. This is what they wanted to do. This is what Kofi wanted. This is what Big E wanted. Most important, this is what Xavier came up with. So I can't, although at times, and I'll be real, I'm not the biggest New Day fan. I am not the biggest New Day fan, because I thought at some point, you're right, I wanted more of a Nation of Domination thing, but them guys didn't want to do that. Them guys wanted to come out and entertain, right? Some of us would call it shucking and jiving. At times I felt they were doing too much shucking and jiving, but doesn't speak for their resume. Doesn't speak for the merch that's been sold. I guarantee this, with the exception of maybe the NWO, not even a maybe, NWO, I would say the New Day is probably the second most sold faction merchandise of all time. I would argue to say that the New Day, that's why they're still on top of WWE today, because their merchandise numbers speak for themselves. But drum roll, not drum line. Dice, the winner of the worst pay-per-view of the year, goes to
Revolution.
There it is.
You fucked up the church's money is what you did. You fucked up the church's money. You had everybody super excited for this horrible ass shit. As I watch this fucking video right now, it is there was more fire on Cody Rhodes' back than it was exploding in the ring. So it was pretty bad.
He's getting picked like, yo, dog, your fucking shoulder on fire. Like, you gotta do something about that, brother. Like, get it off.
It was pretty bad. From what I remember, that whole night wasn't. It was long. It was very long, and I just remember. I think I'm liking like 3 matches out of that night, but the fact of it being a death match is what kept people
up that long.
We was up for a while, and then that shit happened. It was like, oh, all right, I'll see y'all tomorrow. I'm getting off. Yeah, it deserved that. They absolutely deserve it.
Well, we're getting to the hours that I like the most, Dice. We have worst male, worst female, worst storyline, and Dave Meltzer Award of the night. But before we get into those Plexis, let's look at SmackDown from this past week, Dice. You talked about how we look back now, 2006. December 6th from 2004, rather. Trish and Lita, what a great match. Watching Trish come out in that leather. Whew.
Well, she had the fucking face mask on.
Listen, Mella, what the hell you got on your face compared to that? I do not know. But Ziggler and Rude took on the Mysterios on SmackDown this past week. So it was that thing that went on, Dice, that said that SmackDown only had 36 minutes of wrestling.
Who cares? Who cares? I don't watch SmackDown for wrestling. I watch it for the fucking storyline. That's the best part about SmackDown is the fucking storyline.
Who actually really watches it? Show of hands. Who watches wrestling? Because wrestling's the main thing they watch. Because ever since I was a kid, wrestling is the secondary for. It's like we use the example all the time. The Walking Dead. The zombies are just there. The stories, everything else is happening. Right? Yep. Wrestling's just happening, but the storyline is what takes on in wrestling. If only merch mattered, folks would keep their jobs. Shit, how you figure that? Who got fired that sold a bunch of merchandise other than Bray Wyatt? which again was a mutual kind of was a mutual separation. No one who got fired out of that 81 people, other than Bray Wyatt, sold merchandise. Because if they would have sold merchandise, they wouldn't have been fired. Correct me. Think about it. There is no one in that 81 that sold merch. He says 50-50 or 60-40. Okay. Just said show of hands. So you watching for the wrestling, okay? Still thinking, Dice.
I am really thinking. I'm saying like
It's just his mind going. But no, so I'm looking at it like the blood. I don't. When I watch
the other person
like you
would
say,
be Naya, but she wasn't a big merchandise mover, but
right.
She moved some.
No, she didn't. Have you ever seen somebody with a Nia Jax shirt? I've never seen a Nia Jax. Matter of fact,
it's got like I'm like most girls or some shit on her.
That's it. The Sonya Deville shirt was better than her shirt ever was.
Any Sonya Deville.
No one's buying that. I'm just being honest. Think about the people who got fired. Karrion Kross. Nobody was buying his merchandise. Adam Cole merchandise was being sold. Yes. However, it was being sold for NXT. It was also getting sold by somebody who no one cared about. 3 hours of Raw for 40 minutes of wrestling. What a joke. Here's the thing. I want to say this much. To everybody who reads these things and say these things. First of all, whoever's actually keeping time of these things, give me a favor. Get a fucking life. What the fuck are you doing with your life that you're timing matches and how long they are and how much wrestling on the program, right? Second of all, I would damn sure say this much to you as well. I bet you it was more than 30 minutes of wrestling on 40 minutes of wrestling in that 3-hour show. Because in that 3-hour show, it's actually 2 hours and 20 minutes. Right? So if you, and if I'm wrong, right? I'm going to rephrase that. I probably am wrong. So that's 2 hours and 20 minutes. If 40 minutes of that 2 hours and 20 minutes is wrestling, that's a fucking lot for a show that's wrestling's about entertainment. Wrestling is storyline, point blank, period. You may get into it because of the wrestling attracts you, which it should. Right? You saw Dusty, at least for me, I saw Dusty Rhodes. You saw Sting. You know what I mean? You saw Rey Mysterio. You saw these guys do these crazy things. Benoit, I said his name, I don't give a fuck. Eddie Guerrero. You saw these guys do these things, and you was amazed by it. But what happened with them in their wrestling is what aids you to keep watching it. I promise you, wrestling is storyline driven, hands down. Thank you so much, Charmaine. I've been watching wrestling since 82. It's secondary. It's the storyline. Derek, did you talk for me before I spoke? That's unfair. Okay. But SmackDown, again, as I was going to get to, Tori Storm got back at Charlotte Flair, the greatest women's wrestler of all time. Kofi
Tony
Kingston
Storm
returns to helps. What'd I say?
Tori.
Did I say
always
Tori?
fuck
I'm sorry.
Yeah, you always fuck.
Well, that's because I'm used to calling her heavy booty.
Yeah, big ass.
Yeah, thickums. Sasha Banks took on Shayna Baszler, which I hated that match, by the way. I'm gonna tell you, I hated that. Shayna Baszler is so much better than what they're making her be. Like, biggest waste of talent in WWE right now has to be Shayna Baszler. I'm sorry, she should be dominant. If that's somebody who leaves WWE to go to fucking AEW, who can be great, and it ain't Rhea's right. It ain't Rhea Soho, whatever the fuck her name is. So it ain't her. That's for sure. It's a soap opera with wrestling. That's exactly what wrestling is. It's exactly what it is, Dennis. Mike's checking in. Grand Body P. Word. I am not the same of those wrestling nerds. Wrestling is good, but I cracked the fuck up when Brock told Sammy he should fight Roman to stay away. Listen, because that's what keeps you. It's thinking when you hear wrestling fans say Brock has no personality, go back to Money in the Bank Brock. That was entertaining. A lot more than him suplexing somebody 16 times in the ring. So I take that with that. But moving on, next category.
There's a while you get that together, I just want to let everybody know the new Bloodline hats are available on the shop.
Up.
Yeah, they're all black with red.
I buy you one for Christmas.
And then they say "We the ones."
We the ones
on the side. And there's a flash sale on titles. They are at their lowest they've been all year.
They're under 50%?
Close.
Okay.
Close.
They had 50% after WrestleMania.
It's close. Okay, so it's the slowest it's been since
Listen,
after WrestleMania.
the red one's out, Dice. They got the red one too. The red We the One shirt. You know red's my color.
Y'all,
I like how you ignored that. I like how you ignored that red shirt, yo. How dare you ignore the? I got the black one. I got the white one coming, and I'm gonna get the red one. Shit, look, dude, they got the Roman Reigns freaking jacket.
Yep, it's a snapback. It's a snapback.
It's a snapback. Listen, this right here is snapback. King of the Ring, baby. That I'm rocking right here.
Let me see if I can get it up real quick behind me.
For you strong chest motherfuckers, they got the muscle shirts too. Yeah, I mean, I know DC be rocking them joints. All right.
There you go. There you go.
That looks orange though. Doesn't look red. Looks orangey.
I'm pretty sure it matches.
No, I'm probably sure it matches too. Even on my end, it looks orange as opposed to red. But I'm looking at the red one. I think it's the way the light shimmers off of the thread, because that's some thick threading. Well, this is thick. These are really good hats they make. This is really thick. This is good as yours on your head. I can see it from here. The bubble letters in it on the LRG. Yeah. This is just the hat I got. I got this one. I got the Raw hat. I got the Usos hat from before. When you buy merch, they stay around. Just all right. What do you say? Last week they had the W replica titles for $269. Dice, are you pricing like that?
Yeah, they're around that price. Like the Big Goldie. Big Goldie is like $259 right now.
Yeah, they're where they were last week, and they haven't left off the Black Friday sale. And those are good deals. Like, I mean, in my Belt Kings group with the fellas, that's all they talk about. And right now, it's just a tough time for your boy. So if y'all want to donate to my Patreon at Mike Knoxxx, y'all can do that. Help support this show and other shows to come along so we get some new equipment around here. Maybe go to WrestleMania on your dime because you like us enough to support. Hell, I'm watching my man John Campia show. I watch John Campia every single day. You know that. This man gave that man a $200 tip.
NWO Big Goldie is at $289. That's almost $100 off.
And you know I need another one because I got mine. I spray painted mine, so you know I need a second one. I got mine. I had Kevin Nash spray painted. Shout out to King Coley who sort of heard that idea, went out there and did the same thing. Much respect. But let's get on, Dice. Worst storyline of the year. The nominees are.
We don't even know the nominees. Jinder Mahal versus Drew McIntyre with that stupid fucking sword made from a whale's tooth for some dumb shit that he said. We ain't forgot. Dumbass sword.
I'm gonna give it two of them then, because if that was in the category. But we also have Braun and Shane. We also have Team Taz.
Can we stop picking on Shane right now?
All right, well, can we pick on Team Taz?
Oh, they're fucking. Well, not Ricky Starks. Anybody but Ricky Starks.
Anybody but Ricky Starks is fine. And even he's growing on me. I'll give you that. I took that. No, Powerhouse Hobbs is growing on me.
He's the young rock of that.
Powerhouse Hobbs has turned on. I've warmed up to him in a sense. But
I told you that Powerhouse Hobbs was that guy when
you're watching him and Brian Cage together, it's kind of hard, bro.
No. Remember, I don't know if you remember, but
I do remember you talking about him. But
he debuted
with Brian Cage
with Moxley. No, he tagged with Moxley and he came through the crowd.
He did.
And I said, "Yo, this dude look like he going to be something."
Yeah, and you know how I feel about black men and stupid haircuts.
Oh God,
you know how I feel about black men and stupid haircuts. I mean, I'm surprised Vicky ever won a title with that haircut. It's the big title. I'm surprised. Come on, bro. Like, even his barber don't like that. He goes in the barbershop every other week to get that haircut. His barber goes, "You sure?" Every single time. But it's his trademark. Is like James Harden's beard. You know what I mean? It's like Mike. Let me cop that from if I get in trouble. But the winner is. Where's my damn drum roll? You over there messing with my stuff. Here it is. Damn it, I can't lie. Where did the sword come from? I wanted to be Team Taz. But 1 second the sword's from his mama, the next second is from Vince McMahon. Like, that has to be the dumbest storyline WWE came up with the entire year. And they had some dumb ones. Okay. And for those who just tried to put in my DM, don't slide in my DMs and tell me that about no Alpha Academy. Okay, because I'm here for Alpha Academy. Don't get on me about tag team wrestling. I'm sorry.
Listen, I just want to acknowledge the fact right now
that
the Razor Ramon Signature Series Championship belt.
I know, guys. Stop talking about them. I know all the belts that were 500 are now under 500.
$99.
Yes, I know.
Listen,
I
I'm about to hit
know.
that Klarna button real quick.
I know.
I'm about to hit that
I know.
Klarna button and
Can you
break that
stop?
bitch down to
My
4
car,
different payments.
my corner is filled right now. Okay. And listen, I want people to be careful. All right. When it comes to belt collectors, do not get the WB, do not get a commemorative title.
No commemorative
if
titles.
You're gonna get one,
Go
do
big
not
box.
take it out in public. Don't take it out in public. It goes in your display case only. Do not show it on Title Tuesday. I will clown you. Okay, point blank and simple. Moving on for the worst females of the year, Dice. As Seth Rollins gives you a laugh, I gotta say this much. Shout out, she's friend of the program. Brianna Brandy from Hit Row, Big Swole from AEW, Bunny from AEW, and who I think's money, Carmella. Drum roll, please. I forgot to say her name, but she was in the category J. Cardell. But the winner has to be Brianna Brandy from Hit Row. I love the girl. I don't think she'd be back in wrestling ever again. This is why you see her doing TikTok videos. There's a reason for that. This takes nothing from her being a Hit Row to make Hit Row get fired. I don't know what the hell happened to Hit Row to get fired, but Isaiah Swerve Thomas' story is he's fine with that. But it has to be Brianna Brandy. She was the worst female wrestler I'd ever seen in the title of a wrestling ring, and I mean that with all my heart.
Was she worse than homegirl from Funkadactyls? That said that her favorite.
They're about tie. They're about a tie.
Hey, listen. She's not done. AEW will throw one of those stupid ass battle royals where they have like
Brandy
60 people.
I don't even think she wants to be in wrestling anymore after being fired like that. I just don't. If you look at her Instagram, if you follow her TikToks,
Cameron, that's her name.
Yeah,
Cameron.
That's her wrestling name. But she went. If you go to Total Divas at that time when she was on Total Divas, and she also has a big TikTok following right now, as well as a big Instagram following as well. Again, people got to understand something.
Or Ariel or some shit with an A, I believe.
Ariana, some shit like that. You're right. But these girls get into this business the same way I think a lot of people get in businesses just to get over. You look at what's my man who's on CBS now, who should do ESPN. They thought he was going to be the next second coming of Stuart Scott, and that's not what he wanted to do. He went to Entertainment Tonight. You know what I mean? And so I don't think Brianna really wanted to be a professional wrestler. I don't think that was her calling, and then she's moved on from that, and I'm okay with that. I'm not putting the girl down as far as I'm grading this off for in-ring ability and storyline. And let's not get it twisted here, guys. Big Swole was on this list. Jay Cardell, who I'm fascinatingly in love with the way she looks, and I go for all black. Adriana. Yeah, it is. That's her name.
Yeah.
I go for, again, I say all the time, I go for all black superstars. Jay Cardell can't wrestle. She's stiff. If she wins that TBS tournament, it's because she has the look that these girls don't have, right? Carmella, she's money. There's nothing Carmella cannot do good in professional wrestling except for wrestle professionally. That's her biggest problem, is that Carmella can't really go in the ring like that. But I love her, but she's not too much. She's not up there with Bunny. Bunny's pretty bad. She's a look, and that's it. And honestly, if it wasn't for me to piss you guys off and have Dice tell me what the fuck I'm talking about, I'd have put Ruby Soho on here. I think she can play, but she's not worse than them girls. I just was doing that to piss somebody off. She's not as bad as these girls, but she's pretty fucking bad.
She's not.
If you ask me, she's pretty fucking bad. 2 more awards left.
Dun, 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 dun.
2 more awards left. Let's go to the chat box. I haven't been to the chat in a while. See what these folks have to say before we get to these last word. Stop hating on Drew.
Tees.
Huh?
New Arcade Bro tees.
Yeah, I saw those.
Hey, Randy.
Stop hating on Drew, Z.
Y'all, you know damn what. Come on, Charmaine, come on. Can you be on my side one time? Can you be on my side one time?
Hey, get up off my number 1 fan, bro. Like, stop.
Obviously,
she got badges,
you know
bro.
Wait, you know what?
Where she go? Matter of fact, I had it on her. I'm a
stars.
Yeah, I just saw it. Yeah, there it is. Where that thing at? We're gonna put that thing right there. We're gonna highlight that, Sean, right there. Ruby is my. See, I'm with you on that one as well. I think she's so overrated. I think if she didn't come from WWE, hell, 60% of their roster wouldn't be on AEW, one for WWE.
But she was already known on the Indies, so that statement is null and
void. But being known on the Indies, which again, let's be real. If you don't watch NXT, you're not watching Indies. So you didn't know shit about Ruby Riott before NXT. You just didn't. Okay? She didn't go to Ring of Honor first. Do you know what the Indies are to me? Ring of Honor, Impact Wrestling. That's the Indies to me. They're promotions. They're bigger promotions. But those where you start off at, you get your chops up, Impact Wrestling. You get your chops up, and you come over to the main rosters, which at the time was nothing but WWE. Now it's AEW. I think AEW needs to be careful because right now they're the best wrestling promotion that's out there right now. Just right now. And people have to understand something about business, right? I like how WWE gets no credit for helping Johnny Moxley and his rehab. I like how it was very quietly kept, how AEW had their worst numbers ever on Last Dynamite. Between that demographic AEW fans wanted to throw out there, and I say that because I'm a fan of professional wrestling. Fuck WWE and fuck AEW. None of them pay me. So as the words that would say, fuck you, pay me, I might say something a little bit nicer or lie. But right now, as long as I ain't paying me, I'm spitting the truth. That's all I can do. Okay? And their slippery slope is that 18 to 49 demographic. It was a 0.3. It was a 0.3. I don't even look at numbers. I hate when I wake up in the morning and see Alvarez and these other fucking jabronis giving out fucking ratings. We all know ratings don't really count no longer. They're streaming television. They're streaming internet. That's where a lot of people watch these things nowadays. I know people don't even watch WWE until it goes off the air. Shit, if I still had a DVR, because I cut the cord, so to speak, I wouldn't watch Raw on Monday nights half the time. But you know what I'm doing? I'm watching Raw. We're sitting here playing Madden, talking shit. Okay? That's how that goes. But
your thoughts, Dice.
Nah, that Cena squash was amazing. What Cena squash? Am I forgetting something? Oh, Brock. Ooh, the bloodline is a snapback. Oh, yeah. See, he likes hats too. Look at his eyes. Look at his eyes. He's going. DC last week they had the WWE replica for $269. Yeah, that's the one he was talking about. Chalk Line about to have bloodline jackets. Where you see that at? Because I get all Chalk Line stuff, and I ain't seen them even hint about that one yet. But I have not been on social media over the weekend. But I've been preparing for the new show, and us moving to the new generation next year in 2022. What did she say? Well, I have to go. You guys have a good night. Thank you, Charmaine. I love Big Goldie. Anything gender related should have won.
Oh wow,
Derek. You got to start preaching like Baptist preachers to get that quap. Why is Deontay Martin with Team Taz? What the fuck? I said that when it happened, that it made no sense. And I'm glad you're
got to be on his way out.
And I'm glad you're on here, DC, because
Taz,
I know you're an AEW fan first, right? I know that's who who's taking the lead for you in professional wrestling. Because a lot of times I say things, people go, whoa, 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 whoa. No, that's legitimate. Because I watched that, Dice. You were here. I was like, this makes no fucking sense.
Yeah.
I just don't get it. Like, you just had all this stuff happen with Leo Rush to have him get in, made no sense to me. But neither is all of a sudden Daniel Bryan going against the Dark Order. I get you trying to get him to go against Hangman Page, but on Saturday night, he was a face. On Wednesday, he was a heel. No explanation. No explanation at all. CM Punk and what's his name? I can't think of it right now, Dice. He just fought last pay-per-view. Eddie Kingston. No, Eddie Kingston. That shit was nuclear to me. You gave it one pay-per-view and it's gone. And y'all can sit here all you want to and say, well, hey, this company versus that company holds rivals and feuds too long. That's fucking wrestling. Don't sit here and tell me that you didn't enjoy Sting versus Lex Luger, Sting versus the Horseman, Horseman versus anybody, DX versus anybody. Stone Cold and Rock went on for years. Years. Rock, Cena, Orton, and Edge, years. You just tell me to talk to the fucking hand.
I was raising my hand. Jay Uso's Nobody's Bitch shirt is on for $12. Hey, Bad.
I wanted that
Liv
shirt.
Morgan's shirt.
I wanted that shirt.
$12 on WWE Shop. So that's pretty cool. I need a new right-hand man shirt. It's down $15. And Roman's Show Up and Win.
Yeah. It's in clearance.
Shirts.
Those are in clearance now.
It's $12 on sale.
Yeah. See that Nobody's Bitch shirt? You know me, I wanted to wear it and take it to work. And my wife said, you can't take it to work. I probably got sent home with that one. But now I work from home. Hell, I can wear it. I want to wear it. And again, I want to say again for this year, and I went back this morning. I was up late watching the Gervonta Davis fight, and you know you have like the memories come up in your social media feeds, and that's why I'm wearing this shirt today. May he still rest in peace to Shad Gaspar, friend of the program. And one of the last things he had said to me was, "Keep going." Right? Dice says it to me all the time. Keep going. You know, my kids think I'm a superstar. I don't know why. You know, they believe. And it'd be 14 years next year. You know what I mean? And I'm looking at the numbers. Dice, I was going to say that earlier as I was going back, trying to, you know, remember the last time I had the Plexis. And Grand Body P, you're like the only one who actually has access to the Blog Talk Radio, where we still broadcast everything. That's how all my podcasts go to all those networks because of Blog Talk Radio. That's my RSS feeds. And man, you go back, look at those numbers, Dice. My God, 2,000, 5,000, 15,000, 60,000 views, right? And they slipped so far. You know what I mean? So far. And so those who have stayed around, shout out to Herbie, who's been around from day one. Shout out to Corey for sticking around. And the new guys that's come along, Dennis and Derek, I appreciate you guys. We just were Facebook talking, and you got, you know what I mean? I appreciate all the Belt Kings, Corey, Mo_Eaton, Chris from Unpopular Review, and that whole crew. Thank you for allowing me to come on your platform, right? Shout out to Las Pasas. Just wasn't a fit for me on Saturdays with those guys and Nico Extra and those guys and Mad Dog and all those guys. Much respect to anybody who listens. To Zia Silent for coming on, for somebody who is now I call a brother. We fight. I swear to God, we fight like we fucking married. I'm serious. There's times I get off and I be there telling my wife like, "Yo, babe, fuck this nigga." You know what I'm saying? Excuse my language, mama. And she be like, "If you don't go in there and fix that," you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, "Well, he's stubborn." She's like, "Well, you know, he's stubborn too, but he's always told me he was a fan of my programming before he ever met me." Christopher Platt and the Chair Shot and those guys for everything like that. Wrestle Rumble, King Coley, the list goes on and on. I just want to thank everybody for supporting us, supporting me. And I'm gonna say something to you. Listen, I ain't done yet. I'm not gonna stop until Vince McMahon knows my name again. All right, I was this close. And I plan on being that close again. All right. And then those who don't know who I am, as I tell everybody, just Google me. Go check out all the interviews. Just before this wrestling podcast thing became cool for everybody to do, I was putting in them numbers. I had the DDPs. I had the Nexuses. I had the Tough Enough guys. I had the Four Horsemen. I put the American males back together with those guys. What are you on at? You over there shopping? He must be buying me a lot of shit for Christmas, y'all.
Listen. Well,
and there's nothing broke back about buying the man a present. Anybody who says that,
WrestleMania 12, Bret Hart versus Shawn matchup T-shirt, and they got the Sonya Deville Urban Aztec Pride.
Go back to that shirt. How much is that shirt?
$12.
Both of them are $12. That's
$12.
I bet you ain't got my size. I bet you they ain't got my size. They don't never have my size for the good shit.
It's small and medium.
Got all hype and shit for nothing. Got me all hype and shit for nothing. Big Swole had a real good storyline. Jade is Lady Goldberg in her first run. Carmella actually has improved in the ring. Jade Cargill is not as bad as Goldberg. Is nowhere near as good as Goldberg was even in his first run. And Goldberg's first year, Goldberg was the man. He was doing backflips in the ring. Okay, Goldberg was 3 moves. That's all he needed. Jade, if they're gonna make Jade Goldberg, then make her 3 moves. 5 moves of doom, whatever you want to call it, and have that happen. But having her do that legs and them punches and them elbows, she's too stiff for all that. She's too green for all that. Brandy Rose should have been on this list. I didn't put Brandy Rose on the list because she was pregnant and she's not trying to be a professional wrestler. She never tried to be. It's a difference between being a professional wrestler and just being out there because who you are. That's why I didn't put Brandy on the list. Michael Hayes couldn't wrestle, but was very charismatic, much like Carmella. I like that comparison because he could not wrestle. But you know why I put Michael PSA's at with that, Derek? Up there with everybody's favorite Ric Flair. I think he's a showman, and that's what makes him great. I think Flair's a showman. He put everybody, he made everybody look good whooping his ass. All right. What we got us here? Her finish is basic. Kicks to the face should need a way better finisher. We got here, Derek. Again, I think we should swerve with DMT. Martin joining Team Taz. Would be nice to have him rebuild it up. Yeah, but they got to do something. DC checking back in. I can agree with you on that. They need to let feuds marinate for a bit on that one. Rest in peace, Shad. Thank you again. Much love. 14. Listen, 14 years for the culture, brother. I've been doing it. All right. I put people on like Ahmed Johnson. You know how we broke up, Dice? I put him on hold in an interview. He was doing an interview with was doing the whole. We broke the Kamala stuff when Kamala wasn't getting no money from the WWE. Right? We broke that news, and I tried to coach him between the commercial breaks, and he said to me, I heard him saying, "I'm not listening to this motherfucker." And I was like, and I came back. You can hear this argument live
we
on
had
air.
the hot mic on.
Yeah, we came back live on air, and I was like, "Well, listen, I'm not trying to tell you how to run your show, but you got to take a break. Like y'all was talking for too long, and we lost listeners. You can tell when listeners start to fall off because they were falling off." But let's get back into this show. If you were the last two awards, Dice, and we're gonna name the worst male of the year. And here we go. The nominees are Brian Cage, Lance Archer, Rick Boogs, Warlow, and Dabba-Kato.
God damn, boy, that's a tough one. That's a tough one.
Drum roll, please.
I'm going, you know what? I'm going for the fake ass Tomko. I'm going for the fake ass Tomko on Warlow. He's fucking terrible. He walks like he got two left feet. I don't know how his record is so good in AEW.
Say it, the winner, Brian Cage.
You just hate Brian Cage so much.
No, it's Brian Cage. It's Brian Cage. Lance Archer, friend of the program, couldn't do it. I couldn't do it to two people, friend of the programs. All right, so couldn't. He was on the list, but I couldn't have him win it. Dabba-Kato.
He said no, Reggie. No, Reggie.
You know what? Reggie's entertaining. I think Reggie's entertaining. I think he's entertaining. Dabba-Kato, aka
Commander Aziz.
Commander Aziz. Does he wrestle?
Man, he just I don't
didn't do anything, right? So shit. For that matter, we switching it live on air. Dabba-Kato's the winner. There it is. Dabba-Kato is the worst wrestler of the year. Dice, speak on him.
Listen, listen. The personality, the name change, all of that goofy shit. That's in the dumbass finisher he got. He tried to steal the Umaga shit. Nah, we don't. Nah, you don't disrespect Umaga. So for that alone, he can't move, man. He fucking. I don't know who moves worse, him or who's the dude that was with Gender, the tall 7-foot dude. I don't know
that dude.
Shanky, Shanky.
Yeah, because Veer's gonna get. I think Veer shows up tonight on Raw.
Veer looks good.
I like the way he look, man. I like Veer a lot better than the other dude. The other dude
he reminds me of a Ming type character, man.
He does, but the other guy, Veer, not Veer, not him. Who the one talking about?
Veer.
The tall one.
Shanky
looks like an avatar.
Yeah.
He has the body of an avatar.
Him and Dabba-Kato, Commander Aziz, whatever you want to call them, they both walk like Great Khali. Like they're just terrible. They both walk too terrible. They can't really sell when you're that big. I mean, at least Omaz is looking like he's getting more and more comfortable, and I think that's a great pairing to pair him with somebody in a veteran of AJ Styles. So the only thing that you can ask for your big man to do is to get better, and he's getting better. It might not be quick, it might not be fast, but little by little, he's getting better at something.
Definitely getting better.
I think that's all they can ask for at this point in time out of him as far as big men goes. But yeah, Dabba-Kato, you're a piece of shit.
Brian, let's go ahead before we give you our Dave Meltzer fuck you dirt sheet Plexi of the year. And yes, guys, man. The Plexis is like around the blocks, and just like Mike Knoxxx is spelled with 3 X's. Shout out to friend of the program, former co-host in the program, Spot Face, for saying put your X's in shit. He's always about promoting. That's what he's a boxing promoter now. So he promote this show that way, and I appreciate him for that. That name is not mine. So any royalties that I ever get from the Plexis, he gets percentage of that because he came up with the idea. Man, shit, I think he even came up with around the blocks, to be honest with you. I think all that came from Spot Face. I remember thinking, so just to recap a little bit. My bad. Let me get it about my head for a second. What you say, Macho Man? Who's lying? I didn't lie. Shit. But you know what though? My wife hates when I play that clip, so I played it on purpose because she just walked in the house. So, worst show of the year for the Plexi Award goes to Raw, just to recap. Worst pay-per-view of the year goes to Revolution, just to recap. Worst storyline of the year goes to Jinder Mahal and that goddamn sword. Worst feud of the year goes to Braun Strowman and Shane McMahon. Worst female in the ring goes to Brianna Brandy. Worst male of the year goes to... What did we just say? Was it Brian Cage?
Dabba-Kato.
Oh, Dabba-Kato. I'm sorry. Dabba-Kato. My bad. My apologies. Worst tag team of the year went to the Best Friends. Worst storyline of the year. I already said that one. Worst pay-per-view. And I think I'm missing a couple of subjects here, bro.
No.
Looking at all my notes. Worst feud. Worst pay-per-view. Worst female. All right. So here it is. The Dave Meltzer Fuck You Award. Now, what this is, right? Everybody knows I have a couple of sayings, right? Wrestling is storyline. Charlotte Flair is the greatest women's wrestler of all time. And hashtag death to dirt sheets. Now, if dirt sheets would have been around 25 years ago, we'd have never got an NWO. Everything we know would have existed, but it just changed the game. I personally hate dirt sheets because, to me, in my experience, and I'm cool with Ryan Clark, who runs eWrestlingNews.com, is that they're only right 50% of the time. Meaning that at any given moment, myself, Dice, you guys listening on the podcast, YouTube, Facebook, wherever you're listening to, Twitter, we can just be intelligent wrestling fans. I'm loving my puns. This is the show for the intelligent wrestling fan, where Barbershop Talk meets radio to show the pros, icons, and icons of rock and roll to listen to. Because when you have Chris Jericho, Barry Sanders, Ronnie Lott retweet your stuff on your show, and you have Bret Hart tell you that you're the man, you have a great wrestling mind, he can come talk to me. So until those things happen, these are my puns. And one of those things I hate about dirt sheets is that they're always, it's just full of just shit sticking, right? Guys, when you making spaghetti, right? Well, that's how you learn, right? How you know spaghetti's done? If you throw that shit and it sticks on the wall, then it ain't done. If it bounces off the wall, then your spaghetti's ready. That's how you learn how to cook spaghetti. What's for the worst announcer award? I don't know. I didn't think of that one. I don't think there's really bad announcers. I like Justin Roberts. Again, maybe I'm biased, friend of the program. Got an autographed book. Never read it. Shh, don't tell him that. Okay. it's actually out of the garage right now. But overall, hold on. What did you say? Speaking of Kamala, can we give Kamala some love for doing his gimmick and not even getting enough respect for it? Yeah, absolutely. But I say this though, when it comes to that, Derek, he could have said no. Right? People have, you can say it's like the whole thing in Hollywood now, right? Like, I'm not saying it's good, so please don't come at me for this. This is in the comments that are said by Mike Knoxxx, or Mike Knoxxx alone does not belong to everybody on Around the Bloxxx or Unpopular Review. Okay? But they've been making people suck dick all their life be to get into Hollywood. I'm not saying it was right, but if it was going on way before Mike Knoxxx, it's going to be going on way after Mike Knoxxx. Right? So why do you know what I mean? That man had a right to say yes or no, and he said yes to that role.
Shit.
What you do?
Keenan Allen got put on the COVID list. God damn it.
Did he really? Probably
Yeah,
one of them Bengals got him sick because he's in Cincinnati. You know Cincinnati a dirty place.
Damn it.
Just you know what's on that list? Jordan Love is on the list today as well for the Packers of Green Bay. Not that nobody give a shit about him, but just I saw that today as well. So Dave Meltzer for the worst dirt sheets, because I think Dave Meltzer's full of shit. I think that his 5-star, 6-star list shit is full of shit. I think the stuff he says is full of shit. I think his claim to fame is full of shit.
List. I just sat here and looked at his list. He put anything up on his fucking list.
Go ahead, talk about it.
He put Kenny Omega versus Adam Page, which just happened, and he gave the shit a 5.5. Now we sat up here and said that was an okay match. It wasn't a great match.
What did he put? Okay. Daniel Bryan versus Kenny Omega? Because I ranked that match high as one of my matches of the year.
He gave it a 5.0. So essentially, he's saying that
I don't really disagree with his matches necessarily.
Kenny Omega versus Hangman.
I don't like his star ratings because people hang on him like they just hang on his every word. But my hatred for him, not even hatred, my dislike for Dave Meltzer is that I don't think he knows what he's talking about. I don't
think he knows a goddamn thing.
I don't buy his rumors. And speaking of rumors, so the Dave Meltzer Award for the worst dirt sheet news of the year.
Dave.
Right. So worst dirt sheet news of the years. Dice, give me a few you think we have on this list.
Well, I just need one. And
Mm-hmm.
it was the biggest one from the biggest story of the year, in which Bray Wyatt got released, and he said, "Oh, he's gonna go to AEW. He's gonna show up in Long Island. Why? Because that's where John Huber was from." And you got everybody excited about AEW and that damn show.
Flag
and
on the play.
There was a no show.
Flag on the play.
Yeah.
By far, the Dave Meltzer, fuck you, Dave, for Plexi of the year goes to that information right there. He had every single publication copying his words. He had every single fan base copying his words that man was going to show up, and he didn't. Okay? You stick to this show, the show the pros listen to, the show for the intelligent wrestling fans. I told you what was going to happen with Bray Wyatt. Now, we were wrong in our guesstimation. We didn't say it was going to happen. We said we wouldn't be surprised if it happened, and it didn't. The difference. We don't say, oh, this is going to happen. We say we think it's going to happen. That separates you from yourself from a dirt sheet. But him saying that Bray Wyatt, it was done and that stuff was going on was completely a farce. The stuff he had to say about Daniel Bryan, it was a farce. Like he's constantly wrong. And people still hang on this man's words, and it's just annoying. So the Plexi Award this year, I thought the Plexi was pretty good this year, Dice. There's been a lot of good in professional wrestling this past year. All right, coming up on Thursday, the Unpopular Review. They have a big end of the year show coming up. Okay, that will be right here also on Unpopular Review on Facebook as well as Twitch, wherever social media is sold, which is free. And they're gonna have like best returns of the year: Becky Lynch, John Cena, CM Punk, Brock Lesnar, most improved wrestler, Liv Morgan, Austin Theory, Mandy Rose. Best show of the year. Is it Dynamite? Is it SmackDown? Best promo of the year. CM Punk, MJF, Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair. Roman versus anybody. Guess which one Michael voted for. Best moment of the year. CM Punk return. John Cena's return. Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks match. Guess which one Michael voted for. I'm not sure which one's going to win. I'm saying which one I voted. No, I voted for CM motherfucking Punk because he went from being Phil Brooks to being back Chicago made.
I would honestly, I kind of put that Sasha and Belair match up there only because they got an SB as well.
Well, we're gonna find out on Thursday night. Amongst the other categories of their best female wrestler of the year, best tag team of the year, match of the year. Listen to some of the nominees for match of the year. We got Edge and Seth Rollins, Hell in a Cell, Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair, WrestleMania, Roman Reigns, Daniel Bryan, Kenny Omega, Daniel Bryan. Y'all know I put that match in there. I thought that was match of the year by far, and it was a Dynamite match, and no one won the match. It pissed me off. That was like the only thing is like, damn. But I knew Kenny Omega wasn't going to lose, and I knew Daniel Bryan couldn't afford to. You know what I'm saying? It was like one of them kind of things. Is you want to see a good match, and you got that. That's one of the matches I did watch for pure wrestling, right? Because Kenny Omega can wrestle. I just don't like his character.
You don't like his mustache. Tell the truth. It's the mustache. You don't like
it's
his
more than a mustache. It's more than look. Who am I? Look, I got a beard that I keep cutting like I got a goatee. So we all got what we got. Who am I to judge? But another great show is in the books, y'all. Another great year is in the books. Like I said, I don't think we'll be back again this year. There's something big happening in wrestling. There it is. He tell me to get on. But if not, guys, have a wonderful year. Dice, you had some final words to say for this year. This is your first year joining the program. Any final words?
It is my first year. This is my first year. And first of all, I want to thank everybody except for Charmaine because she don't never agree with me. Don't never listen to my points. Don't never listen to what I got to say. Nah, it's all good. But more anything, I want to thank everybody for actually listening to me because half the time I be speaking some bullshit, but I be speaking some facts though. You know what I'm saying? But you smart enough to know the bullshit. But more so than anything, I just like to entertain any way possible, especially when I get to do something that I love to do, and that's debate and talk about something I love, which is pro wrestling. It's always something very special to me. So thank you, Mike. Once again, thank you for letting me be on here. Thank you for giving me my first pro wrestling celebrity interview with Vicky Guerrero. Yeah, and she actually called me Dice. hey, I was happy. So it's been a good year. Just learning and growing with everybody.
Oh, and I wanted to put Nyla Rose on every list, by the way. Just saying.
Oh, God.
I didn't. I didn't.
We can't, because then it would be a discrimination.
Yep, be discrimination and stuff, and I have to tell them.
Yeah. So
that's what
you got to tell it. I am a boy, Damon.
I am a boy, Damon. With that being said, again, I thank you. I can't say that thank you enough. I just cannot say thank you enough. I appreciate you for everything you guys have done for me over these past going on 14 years, it'll be 14 years next year. I appreciate it, and I won't stop, can't stop, won't stop. So with that being said, listen, do not wake up tomorrow morning and say to yourself, I love me some me and don't love God. That's crazy. And no, this Charlotte Flair is the greatest female wrestler of all time.
Everybody's got a price. Everybody's gonna pay. But the $1 million man always gets his way. $1 million man.
Yeah. It's like the illest posse cut right here, man. Sean Watts on the track. Zeus, Don One, Rude Boy, Quill, The Gift, and yours truly, Fred Knoxxx. I'm 1 in a million with $1 million flow. Fred DiBiase got the power in it though. If it's a problem, let me know, or I suggest you let it go. Cause it ain't worth the problems that'll be knocking at your door, homie. Please don't make me hurt you. Disrespect the boss, ain't get treated like Virgil. Cause when I write raps, it's beyond your price.